Hello. Right off the bat, you'll notice my name is a different color. Because I did some grinding, and nothing that hasn't been really done before. I just went through the offline guild quests to get to high rank. That meant fighting a bunch of things I've already fought: Diablos, Duramboros, Rathlos, Ignactor, Uragon, a bunch of things, but it's effectively the same quest line as the village quests, except for when you get to Yen Moran, you don't kill it there, you just repel it. So now that I'm high rank, I haven't done anything else, and there's some stuff I should do right off the bat. I think these guys are congratulating me on getting to high rank. Ah, there you are. I overheard someone earlier saying you got promoted to high rank. Great job, kiddo. Seems you're moving up in the world. Since today is kind of a big deal, I got something for you to celebrate. Of all the jewels used to create decorations, one of the most sought after are these ones here, Blood Run jewels. You see, before time, almost all decorations use Sunspire jewels often required a sizable amount of materials that weren't always easy to obtain, which makes for a real chore, I'd imagine. Fortunately, these allow you to make the same decorations, but with less materials. Alright. So, something I'm kind of bad at doing is using decorations correctly. Yeah, I don't think I have anything that I can upgrade right this moment, but we now have the ability. Oh, okay, untranslated text. Great, that's awesome, good to know. All right, mister. Now, I also got enough points to do this mining point too. I definitely want to do that, so we can go see what that gave us right off the bat. Oh, okay, it didn't have a cutscene. Wasn't special enough. So now in between all my hunts, I mean, I cut it out, but I'll be coming here as well, and I'm largely looking for Carbolite ore. So hopefully I get a lot of that. I mean, armor spheres are great, but it's Carbolite ore that I'm looking for. I have a feeling that as you upgrade the mining points, the things that the mining cart can get are upgraded as well. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I feel like it is the case. With that said, yeah, let's go to the guild hall, because I am mostly focusing on doing quests here now. So we will quickly rest in our most fantastic spring. We'll talk to this guy. Let's just have this cola. Oh. Yeah, ha ha ha, that turned out perfectly. Thanks a lot, Fred. And tell you what, next one's on Meow, a powerful flavor. Okay, so everything was activated. Great. All right. Oh, see, you were quite successful in repelling Yen Moran. Since you managed to complete such an important task for us, I've decided to grant you the status of a high-rank hunter. Congratulations. Well then, seeing as how you're now a first-class hunter, as of this moment you have my authority to take part in high-rank guild quests. What else? If you have any questions regarding high-rank quests, just speak with the young lady on the far right of the corner. Or counter. Oh, what? You thought I was going to explain? Well, suppose it can't be helped. High-rank quests, as the name implies, challenges hunters in ways far surpassing what is expected of them during low-rank quests. I mean, yeah, you get different materials, and the fights are a little bit harder. By harder is like sometimes they hit a little bit harder, but largely it's just because they have more health now. Okay, so now high-rank quests. Welcome to the Hunter's Guild in Yukumo Village. The time has come, Hunter. Your rank has finally reached HR4, which means you can now take part in high-rank quests. Currently, I have contracts available to the 6th level. If you're interested, go ahead. Have a look. This should be fun. Keep in mind, though, from here on out, additional assistance from the guild won't be made available when venturing out on high-rank quests. If you have any more concerns, you should clarify any details you may wish to discuss with the guild manager. Okay. So these are the final batches of quests. Oh, I think this 2 Azuros is important. So let's start off with that. Hi. Yes, I am a high rank hunter. So that's just Devilho. Devilho. I don't know. I've never known the official pronunciation for that. And I think I've even heard it pronounced like when they did the patch that put the monster into World, because they have voice acting in that game more predominantly. But I still can't remember the exact pronunciation. So let's go fight 2 bears. Why not, right? It's large. Oh, right. Okay, so here's the thing about high rank. You will randomly start in different positions on the map. There's probably something I should have done up there instead of jumping down, but whatever. So you don't start all the time. You don't start in camp all the time. And sometimes you'll be like in random places. Sometimes you'll be right next to the monster, which can be beneficial if you're prepared, saves you some time. Can be frustrating if you're not. Sometimes you'll end up in areas where you can access special materials. I think that was the case for me right then and there, and I just didn't act on it appropriately. Yeah. That being said, high rank monsters, they are going to take longer to fight. And they're probably going to hit a bit harder. Argyros is still Argyros, so like, it's only going to be so much stronger, but it's still not worth taking an unnecessary hit. No, you know, I guess I should paintball both of them. Oh. Great. Or is that the one I already had? I don't know, man. You know what? That hit wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'm actually not terribly upset by that. My gear is doing pretty well for me. And we kind of have the benefit right now is, as usual, this is a split hunt, so the health of the monsters isn't as high as it would be if it was a solo hunt. That was my biggest frustration going through and like grinding up to this point, because I didn't want to like rehash the entire main story just because I was doing the offline guild quests to get to high rank. So, you know, but like some of the hunts, oh my god, they just took so long. Like I wasn't dying, I didn't have any skill gap issues. I was just like, it took 30 minutes of bashing something for it to finally collapse. And that was, that just wasn't as fun as it could have been. Like the Durham Boros, oh my god. It had so much health. And I'd like broken its tail, I'd broken a bunch of different things. It was clearly like taking damage. It was just took forever. And I think the main reason for that is because the guild quests are balanced in the expectation that there are multiple hunters partaking of the hunt. So multiple streams of damage. So you're effectively having to replace multiple hunters worth of damage on your own. And the easiest way to do that is time. Okay. Yeah, a lot of dodging in this one. Yeah, it's funny. This is like a horrible situation in real life. In Monster Hunter, it's like, I don't know, somewhere around not ideal. If I had dung palms, it would be probably a smart move to like separate them, force one of them to flee or what have you. And I think that's largely the intention of only fighting one over trying to spread your damage out between two. Because if you can provoke one to... Oh, is this a heal? Okay, it's not a heal. I was just gonna not waste a mega potion if it was. Granted, I have so much health. Ah. Not if I do stuff like that. Okay, so now we have one fleeing, and that largely makes this... Oh, no, they're following. All right, well... Whatever. It happens. Oh, okay. Pointless heal. Now here's the thing too, is high rank armor very quickly starts to outrank low rank armor. And I mean, you know, that's a given, but you figure it'd be like an MMO or something like that. Like the high end of the last thing you did has at least some applicability as you move into the new, but it is not entirely the case. It could be like the second or third monster that we encounter in high rank is already giving better armor than this Sinogre set. And it's largely just because like things like the variants that we can get into, they have typically very heightened, oh gosh, defense stats. I was getting overexcited. Oh well. I hope this isn't like, oh yeah, okay, I was gonna say. I hope this isn't something that's gonna take me like 7 million years to work my way through. And that's the designation that you're in high rank most often, is you're getting like material plus or whatever. I don't know if making a set of Argyros is going to be required. I might be I might be slightly higher defense than that with this set. But we'll look to see how quickly it goes up. Just as well, some sets have visual differences between low rank and high rank. Not all of them, but some do. And some, like the high rank version of the set, is leagues above. Okay. Whoa, butt bash. I really need to look into what is happening when my arm turns all electric here. Like I'm a little bit blanking on what it was, and I think the main reason is because when I originally played this game, right, none of the text was translated. I had to like print out a sheet and do it that way, and I just probably didn't look into all the effects and stuff, or I was never able to, you know, get that information from the game easily. So, yeah. Who knows? I mean, I might even be able to... Okay, see, that's not translated. Latent power, maybe, is what that is? I don't know. It's crazy to me to have already been like this far into the game. I guess like I've been running this one for a few weeks now, but still it feels like I haven't been playing it for that long. And there's more content here. I'm not 100% done yet. It's not like the next video is going to be the finale or something, but I don't know. It's just a pretty smooth process. But I guess I've played a fair amount of the old Monster Hunter games now, or replayed. So maybe it's just all feeling like one congruent, normal experience. Like, I think it was only like 10 months ago that I started running Unite. And that I did like 31 videos on that. And then I got to the end of the main game. I haven't decided if I want to go back and do G rank yet. Just because, like, it's a whole bunch of time sink for what are like 4 or 5 new fights compared to the base game. It's just like effectively doing the same thing over and over again, but the things have more health. And it's just a little bit of a time suck. So I might do it someday. We'll see. The only one I'm really interested in fighting is Yamasukami, and that's the biggest pull for me. But it's also the one that's more or less at the end of that process. So, we'll see. Like, I think Lava Scythe is one of the monsters that's on the way. There's like a purple Gypsyros or something. Unless I'd already done that. I don't know. And I would go back in the same vein of like finishing Unite's G rank. Go into the first game and push through all the content required to fight Fatalis, and I guess there's White and Crimson. I don't know if those are in the first game, but I know they're in the Freedom 1. But again, with 1, it's a totally different question. It's not a matter of is it a time suck, it's do I hate my life? Because I loathe those analog control stick controls, and remapping it is just a giant mess. I could conceive of a method, but I just don't think the game is going to appreciate it. And I don't know. It would probably really be more worthwhile to run the first Freedom game instead of redoing 1. But that's a whole new series, so I'm trying to go forwards for now. Maybe the day will come where I'll replay the first Freedom. Then again, I'd have to do all those egg quests, and I'm already disliking the idea of it. I think in Freedom, they did make the egg quests a bit better, so the versions that I have recently allowed myself to be scarred by are not, they probably wouldn't be as bad. He lies to himself. I was hoping to, like, mine something, but evidently not. That's okay. Because, like, it's all new materials now. Yeah, these pine cone looking things. Let's get that. That's great. Super helpful. No, it's not. Cool. Well, that's not bad time. And oh, geez, the points for high rank. That's awesome. Okay, with that done, I just wanted to look at the difference in the Arjuro's armor. So we can see, yeah, it's already better than our upgraded stuff. Our Zinogre Mail with a few upgrades is level 31 for defense, level 5. This thing is 35 defense, level 1, and that's just the first bit of high rank armor. So there's definitely some incentive to pick something high rank and move on over to it when applicable. Let's see what we got coming up next. I don't know what is essential to do here. Hunt 2 Bulldrome sounds aggrieved. But it's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, I can go do that quick. Why not? It's a shame, like, this is a small pet peeve, but like that just having the hot spring of this status doesn't just allow it to apply to you whenever you leave. Like you have to manually sit down and have a, bath. Now, well. Oh, what's going on with you? Master, since you have become such good friends lately, I want you to know that you'll always be welcome here at my stall. Okay, great. I don't have any... Oh, I forgot to put away stuff. Ha ha ha. Good thing I checked. Alright, let's go fight some Bulldrome. Yes, getting that quest. Oh, hey, I'm right here. Neat. Okay. You can also see I have amassed a reasonable amount of currency because of my grinding through the low rank quests in the guild. There is good value to money in this game. I mean, like, it's important to be able to offset your costs. I'm weird. I'm always buying herbs. I'm always buying potions. And I recognize that there are ways to grow these things and get them for you. It just... it isn't important enough to me to make it happen. So I just buy them. Oh well. And like having the ability to are you joining the other Bulldrome? Is that what's happening here? Or you just feel like coming over here? Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think, items and equipment and stuff, they cost a fair chunk of money, so you can be looking really pretty cost-wise, and then, you buy one full set of high-rank gear, you upgrade and spend a bunch of cash. It's not hard to lose the money. That being said, it is quite common if you play a lot of Monster Hunter to become incredibly rich. I'm pretty sure my account in World is just obscenely wealthy because I haven't needed to buy anything in a long time. And even the stuff that I have is like a knock in the bucket. That said, if I ever played, or, you know, if I get there in this playthrough series, I will play World, but I'll start from scratch. I won't be playing on the same account that I have for a few reasons. One, I don't record on my PS5. And two, I'd probably just pick it up new on Steam. Because I'm equally curious how it performs on my computer. Oh. Sorry, Mr. Bulldrome. I'm heavily focusing on one of you at a time. But I will happily tag you now that I am leaving the area to take care of this dude. Okay, bye. Great. Now, I mean, arguably, a lot of this is somewhat rehashing monsters we fought before, but I figured high rank is largely distinct enough that it needs to be shown. Plus, it's a little bit suspicious if I just go, oh yeah, I'm at the end of high rank, you know, bye. You know, like that's... I don't know how well that works in my opinion. So we'll see what happens here. Ow. Because I might need to do a little bit of grinding too. I don't know what set I would get. I know Baroth would probably actually be a very strong set to get in high rank, but that would involve having to fight a bunch of Baroth, which just doesn't sound fun to me. Alright. Nope, I'm gonna take a hit. That's okay. Oh, okay, Bulldrome. Good Bulldrome. Okay. Making progress. I don't think he has much longer on him. Maybe 2-ish more minutes of gain attack, my guess. And maybe not. Maybe he needs more time. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, damn it. I want to be moving. Throw my shoulder into it, you know? Nope. Are you gonna try and flee the way that you got here? Alright. I'll just let him go for a second so I'm not walking into him immediately in the loading screen. Just because it's not fun to have to fight things there. You risk if they die too far out, you can't get carves. Okay, great. Oh wow, we just cut right off the head, eh? That's intimidating. You never know what materials are going to be required for certain stuff though, you know? So this isn't a bad idea, ultimately. Yeah. Oh, that's an account item, yep. Nice. Cannot complain about that. Kind of a pretty area. I like the yellow in the water. Not something you usually hear someone saying, but I feel like it's a cool reflection in this context. I'm just running around. There we go. Quest cleared. It is indeed. Alright, a lot more of that stuff. Meat, crystal, dragonite. Awesome. Money is not too bad. Not as great on the points front, but still. 400 is 400. Okay, we are gonna go and check this. Just sit for a second. Cool. Oh. Cool. All right, now let's go to the next one. Okay, I have a feeling that the Baroth is more important. I'm thinking, like, what? The Baroth, the Quirapeko, and all that. I don't know if the small ones are all that required. So, let's go hunt high-rank Baroth. I imagine I'll need some mega potions. Yeah, I got a lot of honey. That's good. I'll need that for potions down the road. Oh, right on. All right, immediately need a cold drink. Oh, there's 2 monsters here, even though I'm only looking for one. Is it a Quirapeko? That's my guess. Quirapeko, great Jaggy. Hey, look at that. It's gonna be so interesting to see the differences between this game and, oh, wrong button. The Wii U version of the game. Because, like, they share the same maps, so, you know, what's been upgraded, what hasn't. Oh, can I? Nice. I don't have any Sonic Bombs, so let's just hunt Barothing, or start Barothing. Working our way through high rank. I've been working my way through this one show, Citadel. It's like the spy show, and I have a weakness for spy shows, so like, that's the main reason I'm interested in it. It's like I love me some James Bond and Jason Bourne and all of these things. I really love a good espionage story, and I haven't really been getting that lately. I've tried a few different things. I was watching the show Rabbit Hole. I was like, okay. I wanted to like it more than I was. And I think it's just like there's a few things. Like one, I can't really buy what seems like potentially kind of like the like love romance thing that's going on. It's like, I don't know if they're really getting partnered up, but it kind of seems like the main character, who I think is played by Kiefer Sutherland. And the dude is like, he's not a bad looking dude, right? Like, he's a good looking guy, but he's like in his 50s or late 50s, and he's kind of getting partnered up in the show, it seems somewhat romantically, with this much younger woman. And it's just kind of like, I mean, people do have age gaps like that, but it just feels weird. And I don't feel like there's enough of a buy-in to make it believable. But then the issue is I've largely been having with the show is just like the pacing. It feels like nothing has really happened since the first episode. It's just slowly learning about stuff and like methodically walking into buildings. And you know, the angle of like social subterfuge, like that's cool. I wish there was more of that, honestly. I think something that is missing for me in that show and in the Citadel is this sense of overt competency. Like, if you look at a James Bond movie, right, with the exception of the Daniel Craig ones, because I feel like some of the appeal in those movies are his real-world flaws. Like, I think in the latest one, he's straight up like out of practice and isn't doing as well as he normally would be, and he can't shoot as well as he could, and all of that stuff. Or even in some of the scenes, like where he's getting tortured or whatever, he is definitely just not as highly experienced. He doesn't have gadgets and stuff. And he's like a very cool James Bond. I'm not going to deny that. It's just like you look at the older ones, or like my favorite Pierce Brosnan. There's this degree of like always having a plan and always being a little bit better than anyone else you have to be against. And while that's a power fantasy, it is like a fun one. But I feel like we've gone this direction of hyper-realistic and sometimes overly prone to failure protagonists, which is just getting a little tiring for me. And the same thing is, you know, in Citadel, there's so many situations where I think it would have been a more enjoyable plot if everyone involved was as good as they're saying they are, you know? Where I recognize there's like what I would argue is kind of like a cop-out memory loss plot happening. So not everybody has their skills, but the show is littered with flashbacks, and it's like, can the people back then be acting correctly? Or even, okay, excuse me, there's this one dude who's played by, I don't know, I think it's Stanley Tucci, but him and Mark Strong look so similar. I'm not 100%. Anyways, played by this guy, and he's billed as like this incredible techno genius who has a lot of plans, who's very capable, who like single-handedly kind of held together the higher level developmental aspects of this secret society of spies. And he has like these impressive networks, and he's doing all this stuff with like, you know, different research programs. Anyways, the show chalks him up to be effectively the smartest person in the room. And he just like, he has no backup plans. Maybe it's gonna become revealed later that everything that has happened to him was intentional, and I would argue that's a cop-out. I would not like that if it happened. I just wish he was shown as more competent. Like, sorry for spoilers if anyone cares, but there's this one point where, easiest way to explain it is this: the character I'm talking about is being held hostage, and he's actually being held hostage for a while, which is pretty boring, like to have him sit in the same chair between episodes as much as he is. So he's being interrogated and they're doing bad stuff, and he has to like put in a password for this case, and the case gives control to, you know, access codes for stuff. And they ask him to put in the codes, and he just does, ultimately, after like his family gets threatened and whatever. But he just puts in codes, and he doesn't like have a secret set of backup codes. As far as we can tell, there isn't like a set of codes that go, hey, if I ever put in this combination, you know, nuke wherever they were put in from, or launch a missile strike on this location or something, you know? Like, you would figure he would have at some point or some level some sort of plan or preparation, or have kept some secret. And at least at this point in time, it just kind of seems like he got, you know, he got beat. And while it's fine for protagonists to lose, he's not even really a protagonist. He's like a, what, tertiary character or something, a secondary protagonist, duotagonist, whatever. Oh my god, he really loves doing this dirt thing. And dude, yeah, he just loses. And it's just boring. You know, like I would have much more fun with the character if he did something cool or intelligent and kind of helped himself a little bit there. But it doesn't really seem like that's the case. And I was hoping, okay, this guy is gonna like make some really cool devices or gadgets for our main spy character to use, or he's gonna be like, you know, passing off information or feeding him stuff to make the right choice. And then in the end of the day, he's just like, I don't know. He hasn't done much, and that's definitely disappointing. And then you have this whole, I don't like flashbacks, right? Like, just tell me the story. Like, let me know what happened. Show it to me right off the bat. But even in books, right? Like, I hate this. We're gonna go to the future. We're gonna go to the main time. We're gonna go to the past, and we're gonna switch chapter to chapter to chapter, so you don't know what's happening. And it's just so exhausting. Like, maybe it's designed to promote rereading or give people that, oh, that's why that was happening moment. But I just feel like it's overdone, and when it is done, it's not done well enough. So a lot of the time, you're probably getting information where you're like, yeah, obviously, why are we spending time on this? Or, you know, this contributed to nothing. But in the show's defense, I've seen some critiques of the CGI, and maybe I'm just not looking out for it, right? There's apparently a scene, like, that bothered some people with the ski hill where Buddy is skiing. And some people were like, it doesn't look enough like a real hill. And I didn't even notice it wasn't real, you know? Like, I just figured, whatever. He's skiing down this hill now. It didn't look like CGI to me, and even if it did, like, it's snow, man. Like, who cares? You know, there's some egregious examples of CGI that, like, can take you out of the experience. But innocuous stuff, I just don't know if that's worth even having issues with. Ah, well. Folks like the nitpick. Like, I don't enjoy giving negative reviews. Like, I was actually one of those people that when YouTube removed the dislike or the thumbs down button from, like, or the count from showing publicly, I didn't even know that that was a thing in the first place. Because, you know, maybe it's just me, but it's like, who cares what other people think? Like, I guess I'm just so used to not liking the things that other people like, and generally being on the other side of what's popular, that as a metric, it's entirely meaningless to me what other people liked or disliked. Sometimes, like, what people disliked is a barometer for me of whether or not I will like it. There's, like, definitely some people I subscribe to on YouTube where, like, if they give a negative review to the game, I'm like, oh, okay, this might be something I should pick up. Because, like, I don't enjoy the new kind of revival of boomer shooters. These are things like, you know, the old school Doom 64 and Duke Nukem and whatever. I think we just had a new one come out, Warhammer 40K Bolt something or whatever. I don't know. I forgot what it was named. But I do not like these types of games. Like, I don't like games that, largely, I don't even like games that have scores. I don't like the arcade experience. I like games to promote ludonarrative dissonance, where you feel like the choices you're making in gameplay represent and match the experience you're having in the narrative. And, you know, the kind of the immersive experience. So something like that that's so overly gamified, doesn't really even attempt to have too much of a coherent story, that has this kind of, like, to me, illogical logic for its level design. It does nothing for me. Even to the point where, like, I'm on the other side of the whole Doom thing, where I really liked Doom 2016 because it let me use a pistol and it felt like it had a good amount of story focus. And it, for me, you know, converted the weapons and stuff from Doom into an interesting manner of approaching the game. And I did not like Eternal at all because it felt like they turned the whole thing into an arcade machine. And it was back to just square rooms that you had to jump around in, and they took away the pistol, and you had to do all this obnoxious, like, gamifying of all the fights. So you really didn't have any choice or interactability. It was just like, oh, do you have this guy? Okay, shoot him with this gun. Okay, you need to be constantly using the flamethrower and chainsaw to make sure you have enough ammo because you can't hold very much anymore. And it was just like such a drag. I didn't enjoy Eternal at all. Just as well because the story kind of like skips into this nonsensical point of the future and gives you really, like, it doesn't really give you the information you need to understand where you come from and Doom 2016 to Eternal. You're just kind of like, oh, stuff's happened. Now you're in a spaceship, and the Earth fell, and okay. It was very disappointing. But people loved that game, and since that moment, it's like, okay, did somebody like Doom Eternal? Great. They're a reviewer that I can, like, take the opposite feedback on. Even here in Monster Hunter, like in Rise, they added the ability to watch your damage numbers, and they turned it on by default in Rise. And I turned it off because I just like, get your numbers and DPS measuring out of my Monster Hunter, please. What am I looking for? I would honestly be tempted to turn it off in Final Fantasy XIV. I don't even know if I can turn off the number counters. Maybe I can. But it's useful for determining, like, as a tank, what do I need to worry about mitigating and what is more acceptable to take hits from. Plus, I wouldn't want to turn it off and then not be able to get the little, like, indicator of what type of damage is being dealt. I recognize it wasn't even there for a majority of the game's lifespan. But that doesn't mean I want to forsake it now that we have it. All right. Baroth, my internal Baroth timer is going off, and I'm a little bit bored of the fight. So if you could just go ahead and be dead now, that would be super ideal for me. Oh, okay, we're going back over here? Sure, man. Whatever you want. Yeah, I kind of like it. Don't get me wrong. I do understand why high rank is structured the way that it is. And, you know, the scaling is a bit of a manipulation attempt, let's be honest. To, you know, push the game and push other people playing it and buying it. And it does match, you know, the market that it was released in, because this game was, you know, originally released on PSP, and from what I understand of the Japanese market, you know, actual home consoles aren't as popular as portable options, which is why, like, the Switch is sold so well. But the PSP was actually pretty popular in Japan, if I recall. And that meant, you know, there was a lot of availability for people bringing Monster Hunter around and playing together via LAN. And, you know, if the opportunity is there, why not use it? Why not give a dedicated mode for it? I think the main frustration for me is that, like, pretty much in every game, they hide stuff away. And, you know, maybe that's just the nature of, you know, Japanese developed games. Like, you look at old RPGs and stuff, there's usually secret bosses or ultra bosses that you have to do a specific series of events to uncover. And it's not to say that those aren't in Western games, but I'd just argue not as much. I'm thinking of, like, the Demigorgon in Baldur's Gate. Like, you don't ever have to do that fight, and if memory serves, it's not part of the standard story. But it is, like, secret boss, super hard. I'm actually kind of thinking, what are some Western RPGs with a lot of secret content? Because, like, Dark Souls doesn't count. From Software is Japanese. Miyazaki. I don't know if, you know, like, The Witcher is considered a Western RPG. It's stylistically closer. But that's a European game, a Polish game, I think, specifically. So it feels disingenuous to call that a Western game. But maybe it is, you know, maybe it's, I don't really know the definition or the distinction between Western and Eastern games, you know? Is it like anything west of Japan is a Western game, or anything west of China is a Western game? Like, I don't know, man. I could look it up. We're in a day and age where I could solve my ignorance in one click. But it's more fun to wonder sometimes. Okay, did I actually see this guy limping, or was that a lie? Because I'm very into this fight being done with now. Oh, hey, look, a tail cut. Neat. Okay, I'll try and cut from the back so I don't get mud rocked. It worked. Oh, darn it. At least I can tell where it's going. Oh, see, this is what I mean too, is these guild quests. They have so much hell. There's just so much whacking. There we go. All right, high rank Baroth is in the bag. Always good to make progress. I think I have enough time for more hunting, maybe. Maybe. Get one more in. See, what will work, what won't. Get closer to that urgent quest for rank 6. I probably won't get to mine or anything. Was that a mining spot? No, I've lost my opportunity fully now. Yep, if I ever had it. Maybe there's one up there. I don't know all the mining spots off the top of my head, so tough to just be like, yeah, let's do this. Ah, well, it's worked. Money, yeah, 22 minutes for a Baroth. Oof. Well, I guess that's with low rank weaponry, so. Okay, I think the last thing I'm going to do... Okay, well, let's talk to this guy first. Hi, ooh, a new drink quest is now available. Okay, great. I should do the drink quest at some point in time. Maybe in the future. Right now, though, we'll make progress on the guild stuff. Ooh. Okay, we'll have another attack tea. Or cola, or whatever this is, however it reports itself to be. Alright, so I think one of the things we need to do is this one as well. So let's do the Great Jagia double hunt. You know what, let's send a box, like... Yeah. And combine inbox, we'll do, yeah. Make a bunch of these really quick. Great. Alright, and that's why I've been collecting honey the entire game. Just to make that, the end game high rank stuff where you need the points a little bit more palatable. Cool. Hi, Great Jagia. I'm hoping that with half health and the fact that you're a Great Jagia, this isn't too long of a cleanup quest. Yeah, I know. Okay. Nope. I got shoulder checked. Horrible use of my spacing here. Oh. Oh, nice. There's two now. Well, okay. Let's mark this one. No, was that enough damage to make it change areas? That's kind of funny. They both decided to leave too, so it was kind of like, bro, I'm done with this area. Yeah, me too. Let's leave. Let's not give our service to an area that doesn't appreciate us. You know, it makes me think of something weird. I'm a weird place when it comes to the product returns. I don't know why I'm thinking of that. Maybe just that dumb joke I just made. But like, I don't like the idea of returning something for taste. You know, like, I don't actually like the Steam refund thing. And I never liked when people would like trade in their used games, DB games or something like that, to the point where like I'm actually kind of disgusted by it. But even to the, like, I don't really like selling used stuff, you know? Like, I prefer to just give it away if I don't need it. And it always blows me away what people are willing to return something for, or they always feel like they need to get their money back from stuff. And like, hey, look, if you paid for something and you did not get it, yeah, you should get your money back. If you got the wrong thing, I totally agree. But like, if you got the right thing and you just didn't happen to like it, that's on you, you know? I don't think bad taste justifies an excuse, or, you know, a mismatch of taste should justify that. But, you know, on the other side, I don't really believe in much protections for businesses, you know? Like, I think for the most part, they either have to sink or swim on their own definitions, and if they can't make it, then they don't get to make it. You know, if they can't pay a living wage, then you don't get to operate. So I kind of have this, like, it's a balance of pro what you could consider corporate ideas, and that I'm sure businesses would much rather not have to honor return policies for more reasons. But on the same side, I don't believe in protecting companies unduly when they're unfairly treating staff, or their success relies on a misappropriation of labor. You know, like, you look at American restaurants or something, and it seems to be, from the outside perspective, that they could not largely operate by paying their staff a living wage. You know, you have a lot of places that use this, like, server wage, which is like a sub wage for people who earn tips. And it's like, in some states, I think it's like $2 an hour. It's always sad to hear that, though. And then, like, because of the way that it is down the States, with, like, the crazy tipping culture, and the fact that down there they do have a subsidized wage for waiters and servers and waitresses and all that. it's kind of come up to Canada, but we have stronger minimum wage laws. So you have like people making, like $15 an hour who are still getting tips on top of it. And it actually, funny enough, is a bit of a trap here in Canada, because it's very difficult for some people to end up making more money than they're making as a server who gets tips, doing something, air quotes, more impressive. And I use the air quotes there because I've worked in multiple restaurants. I've done every role in the house, pretty much, with the exception of like executive chef and general manager and stuff. I've worked prep and line, dish pit, and I've served. I've, done all that stuff. And I totally know how much it sucks at times, how intensive it is, how challenging, how exhausting it is, how it wears on you physically. There's a lot of lifting, especially if you're in the kitchen. It's sweaty, you get gross, you gotta shower, and scrub down to the bone after most shifts. And you're not treated very well. Often, the wait staff will be very rude, and depending on how good your GMs are, you have, waiters and waitresses who get away with a lot of crap. And they basically get to be these people who kind of float between tables and the dish pit, and they don't scrape things, they don't take care of much, they don't really clean. So I can have my frustration with servers, as someone who's largely been back of house in a kitchen. But beyond that, it is challenging. So when I say, more impressive, it's very much how the world views these things. Because, I work in, a white-collar world now, and it's something that is arguably impressive. But it is, even my hardest days are not as hard as the days I had in the kitchen. So even though it's, optically, it looks like a more impressive role, it doesn't require as much to do, which is funny because it took way more, education checks and steps on my resume along the way, and more interviews and stuff like that. But either which way, here in Canada, when you have one of those jobs, yeah, you can make there are some people who will totally walk out with $100, $300, $400 in tips a night. And if you work full time and you do that regularly, you're beating out or meeting somebody who has gotten one of those fancy jobs. Now, is that, to say that's not worth doing? No. Because again, if you want to not have to physically work as hard, or be, around people who maybe aren't trying to live the kitchen life, you want people who have more of a life-work balance, or what have you. There are benefits to moving up, but it takes time. Usually it takes certifications of some sort. There's investment that has to happen. And if you just don't want to make that investment, you can still make really, really good money. Especially if you're in a popular spot, especially if you're, an attractive person who gets tipped well. So, yeah, it's tough, but I do think it's a bit of a trap, because you end up having people who are getting into their 40s or something, and the entirety of their experience is serving and working in restaurants, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it just makes it really, really tough to recognize what other opportunities are out there, to pursue different things, to get experience in a different direction. And then when you've invested that much time into it and you spent that much time in that world, it's kind of easier to just stay in that world, which, if you wanted to do something else, or you wanted to explore another opportunity, or maybe you wanted to have a more set schedule, because not all restaurants give you standardized hours, you might lose out on the opportunity. And I think that's a shame. I've known some folks who wanted to do other things and just kind of got into the habit of making the money that you can make getting tipped in a serving position, and decided to not pursue those things just because, I'm here, I'm making enough money, I already got this job, and And then kind of is the end of the story. Oh, I'm cold. Okay, well, there is some great jaggy high rank. What'd we get here? Fire attack 7. Neat. Okay, folks. Well, that is this episode of Monster Hunter. Made some progress in high rank. We'll continue to make that progress as we move forwards. I think I'm at like, what, 108 quests done now. So progress is being made. Next time around, I'm hopefully going to get to the urgent quest for rank 6. And we can start making progress further along in high rank. Maybe get some monsters that I want to turn into armor. Until then, hope you have a good one, and farewell.